Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 22 WRX again. It's Friday, we got some parts in, so it's a good day. So let's just jump right to the bench and I'll show you what we're going to be doing today. So right here we have the Turbosmart blow-off valve. It's the compact plumb back, so basically it just means it's the full recirc one. So let's get this unboxed real quick and see what it looks like. So here's what it is. So it has the O-ring on the outer and the inner, and then the piston. So this is a direct replacement, so this should just be plug and play. 3 bolts obviously to take off. So the reason why we're doing this is after I installed the ETS intake, you can definitely hear the blow-off valve noise a little bit more, I should say a lot more. And you can definitely hear it like drag a little bit. So like it'll go off and then it'll like slowly close. And I think a blow-off valve or a diverter valve, it should just be like on or off. Like it should relieve the pressure and then close. So I'm hoping with this, the spring is a little bit stiffer or just a little bit better. So let's take the skid plates off real quick. We have the plastic under tray, and then we have the metal tray that's like protects the turbo and everything. And that'll expose the bolts needed, and we'll get a better look at what we're going to be doing. So let's cut to right under the car and see what we're doing. All right, so underneath the car, we do just have some of these pop clips to take off. We do have 2 12 mils. Here's some more clips that we got to take off. And then in the wheel well, got one up there. So we got one right here and one right here. And then that will be matching on the other side. So let me get you guys set up. We'll get this part taken off and we'll move on to this one afterwards. But let's get this one off first and we'll go from there. Off, you can see the ETS intake here. We have one last step to do to get access to it. So we got to take off 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is also a 12 mil. So let's get these 4 taken off and drop the skid plate. All right, so both are off. This is the metal skid plate, and then there's that plastic one. So let's take a look underneath what it looks like. So there you can see the ETS intake, see the header, you can see the whole exhaust and everything. Actually looks pretty cool. So let's see where we're going to be working. All right, so you can see up here, we're gonna have to move, in the instruction it says we gotta move this one out of the way. And that should give us access to the bolts behind right there. So it's a little hard to see. It is a small space. Let's see if I get a better view over here. Right there, so there is our blow off. So 3 bolts to take it off, plus the 1 clip. The Turbosmart does come with new hardware. So we'll install the new hardware with that. Let me get you guys set up and we'll start working on this, make some room, and we'll get the blow-off valve off. Once we're done with that, I will meet you back on our bench and we'll do a side-by-side, see what the Turbosmart looks like. All right, so as you saw in that last clip, we just got the factory diverter or factory blow off. So you can see me just clicking back and forth. I mean, it's very easy to click in and out. There's very little spring tension. It's kind of similar to the Turbosmart, to be honest, but I mean, the design is completely different. Everything's internal in here, like you can see the little holes in there. Then on the Turbosmart, we'll compare that in just a sec, but there's like holes on the outside here. But let me show you what I did to get to it. I did it a little different than what I said. So I actually did not take this clip off here. Ended up just taking off the wire harness for the, really just like the clip for the wastegate. Obviously because it's on the same harness for the blow off. So just to make some more room and slack in here, all I did was take off this hose, actually, just this hose right here. So there's no clamp or anything on it. It just actually just slides right on. And then I had access to all three of the bolts up there. Are a little different. They were T30, so you have a straight shot at all of them once you get this hose off. So let's go to the bench and let's compare them side by side. All right, so here's our side by side. This is the stock hardware. This is the Turbosmart hardware. So you can see this was a T30 for the stock, and Turbosmart, I just got it right there. This is a 5mm Allen, fit right in. So you can see they look about the same. The design is completely different where this whole thing moves and the piston's actually inside here. Like I said before, there's like the holes on the outside or vents on the outside. So really curious to see what this is going to sound like compared to this. This, like I said, like it sounded like after it like went off, it would like slowly like drag, and you could hear like a really high pitch, just like kind of just like linger on, where and it should just be like an on off, like a blow off valve sound. It should just be like, and then that's it, not just like linger. So anyways, so let's get this put back on and in reverse order. So let's get this put on first. We'll get the bolts put in just regular, and then we'll tighten them on, make sure the plug and everything fits. So let me get you guys set up. Thing is buttoned up here, so we have the wastegate plug back in. It's so hard to see up here. The blow off valve over here is plugged in, and all the bolts are back in. And we have this the one hose that we unplugged that just slid back on. It looked just like this. So all that's left is to throw the ETS coupler back on and put the skid plate back on, and then we'll get it started up and see what it sounds like. Idle just dropped. We're still a little cold, so I think I'm going to take a little drive around the block and to warm it up a little bit. So let's back the car out and go for a little drive. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up or the mic's picking it up, but it sounds pretty good. It just sounds more like a traditional diverter valve. It doesn't have that high pitch like squeak or like high pitched noise at the end that I was talking about before. So overall, it did exactly what I expected it to. Plus, it's a full billet part. According to Turbosmart, is good to 600 plus horsepower. So the stock plastic unit probably wouldn't last up to that. So overall, very happy with this product. Sounds great. So let's get a couple more sound clips in. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more 2022 WRX content. As more parts keep coming out, we'll continue to buy them and we'll make some more videos. All right, so we made it back to the garage. Hope the audio came out good on some of those clips. Towards the end, like I did get on a little bit harder and it does sound very good. It sounds a little bit different than the stock one. As I said before, it doesn't make that like high pitch noise at the end. So it does exactly what I wanted to do. It opens and closes, doesn't hang at all. So overall, 10 out of 10 on the product. Turbosmart always has great products. So we're gonna end it off right there. That's all I got for you guys. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more 2022 WRX content. Let's go.